Now we're going to draw some more complex paths. Let's go ahead and zoom in. I find that this is where things get really interesting because in order to change direction, you need to know how to convert from a corner point to a smooth point and vice versa. So with the pen tool selected, I'll click on the first black square and then click on the second black square. Then I want to add another anchor point in the middle, so I'll click in between. Now in order to change to the direct selection tool, I'll hold down the Command key and then I click and drag out that anchor point. We can see that this is a curved anchor point. If I want to change that to a corner anchor point, I can hold down the Option key. When I hold down the Option key, I automatically get the Convert Point tool. Or if I wanted to, I could select it from the Pen Tool's flyout menu. I just think it's easier to hold down the Option key on the Mac or the Alt key on Windows and click. Now, if I have a corner point and I want to convert it to a curve point, again, I can hold down the Option key, but this time because it's a corner point and I want a curved point, I need to click and drag in order to drag out the curve. Of course, if I drag the other way, I'll get this kind of curve. So I'm going to click and drag to the right. Now, in order to end this path, I'll hold down the Command or the Control key and click in the image area. In order to create this second shape, I'll click once to start the path, and then click again to create the straight segment. Then I want to start the curve going up, so I'll click on the anchor point and drag up. That starts my curve in the upward direction. Then I'll click and drag down in order to finish the mountain. Now I need to change directions. Because I want to change to a straight line here, I can simply Option click or Alt click on the anchor point, and you can see that the second direction line disappears, which means that when I click on this final point, I'll simply get a straight line between them. All right, let's hold down the Command key and click off the point and move over to our last shape. Here, I'm going to click and drag up to start my path. But when I click and drag with my second point, I can't just drag straight down or it won't match the shape of the heart. Instead, I need to reposition where I'm dragging and maybe drag out at an angle like such. But of course, if I click on this next anchor point now, I'm not going to get the shape of the curve that I want. So I'll undo that. And instead, I need to break this direction line. So I'll hold down the Option or the Alt key and click and drag out from that anchor point. And I'm going to drag out the direction line in the direction that I want the next curve to go. Then I'll click on the black square to set down my point. Click again at the base, and then click again to close that point. And of course, if I wanted to go in and refine any of these anchor points, I can hold down the Command key, which enables me to select my direct selection tool, and we can reposition the anchor points, we can reposition the segments, or we can reposition the direction lines. So it's as easy as that to draw complex paths with the pen tool.